What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, party people? It is your boy, Coach D Brown, former big league, former first round pick with the Kansas City Royals. And man, we are back, man, on a Tuesday. Sometimes you get these days, man, with all this craziness going on, man. We'll be back with another great. I know we're gonna have another great show, man. We gonna take it to the West Coast a little bit, man. We mainly stay in the South. We go a little bit of Northeast. We had Rutgers on last week. And then we came right back down to the South with Georgia. And yesterday we had Texas in the house. We had Prairie View. But we got to take it to the West Coast, man. We got to go back to the left coast where, so we got to go way back to Bakersfield. We're going to go to Bakersfield, man. I've never been to Bakersfield. I just know it's hot. That's all I know about. That's what I heard about Bakersfield, man. So we got Cal State, Bakersfield head coach Jeremy Beard joining us today, man. Coach, man. Appreciate you coming on all the way on the West Coast, man. I know it's a little bit early out there, but appreciate you coming on, Coach. How you doing today, man?
Oh, great. I appreciate you having me. Yes, sir. Big time honor for us out here as a program, and I'm just happy to represent it.
All right, cool deal, man. So like I always do, we got to take it back to the beginning, man. I know it's a journey, man. It's a story behind where you are right now as the head coach at Cal State Bakersfield. So I want to come back. I want to learn more about Coach Beard, man. So tell me a little bit where you're from, playing career, all the way to where you are now.
Well, I grew up in the Willamette Valley, so that's just south of Portland, Oregon, and just north of Corvallis, which is where Oregon State is, and north of Eugene by about 60, 70 miles in a town called Salem, Oregon. It's the capital. So a lot of great people there. I grew up a real humble life with a lot of great friends, a lot of great coaches, community support, just an amazing deal. My dad was my little league coach, and up until I was 15. And so he was a big mentor, helped me out a lot, and a lot of people in the community as well. So I got that going as a coach's son early. That helped out, I think. And, we had a good run there as a youth program, and then I grew up playing American Legion baseball, 70, 80 games a summer, and played football in high school, and went to Tigard High School, ended up graduating up there, had to transfer my senior year. My mom got a job, and so that was great. Played football and baseball there, and walked on at a junior college because it was kind of a football baseball idea. I had some options out of high school. They weren't great, but it was more football stuff than baseball. And I always had that dream of being an Oregon State Beaver. So they didn't want me, though. I wasn't good enough. And so I had to keep working. I went to a junior college and walked on there. They didn't really know me there. And the coach pulled me in, Greg Hawk, great guy, Lynn Benton Community College. And so I played there and walked on. And then Oregon State didn't want me again. So I had to walk on there. They gave me an opportunity, though. They easily could have said no shot. So Jack Riley, who's a huge mentor in my life, gave me a chance to. I was wearing my American Legion baseball uniform up, 6 weeks into fall ball. Everyone else was wearing their orange and black, and I have my Tigard Twin City Titans American Legion baseball gear wearing red and blue, and I was embarrassed every day. And man, it was terrible. But they let me. I'll never forget the day I got to take that American Legion uniform off, though. Coach Riley, we were playing a Canadian team in fall ball, and I still had my that old jersey. And I remember I was up half the night, half crying, going, "What am I going to do tomorrow? I can't show up to the game in my deal." So he didn't forget about me. I was always the first one in that, trying to make the team. Got into my locker that day, that game day, and I opened it up, and there was a uniform in there, brand new cleats, a glove, an Oregon State University hat.
Nice.
Man, I was like a kid in a candy store. I went and locked that locker room door, and I bawled my eyes out for about 10 minutes. So
nice.
I got to throw that on, and so I played at Oregon State and just had a great career there with those guys and my teammates. Just a tremendous group of people, coaches, atmosphere, and just a lot of fun. And I could have kept playing. I did have the offer to play with the Reds after my junior year. I was playing for the Humboldt Crabs, and I wasn't good enough to play professional ball at any high level. So I knew that, and I was fortunate enough to be asked to come back under Pat Casey, his first years as a head coach at Oregon State. He asked me to be his team captain to come back and do that. So I did that instead of sign a free agent deal. And best decision I made, I think in baseball at that point, because I created relationships and lifelong memories there at Oregon State that you can't take away. And I still bond with everybody up there in a big way, and it's family. So just a lot of good things from that area and Willamette Valley. And so that's kind of it on the playing days. That's as far as I could go with that.
Now, what you got into coaching, and I know Salem. I've been out there. What's the it used to be Salem Kaiser. The Giants was out there in the Northwest League way back in the day when I played out there in rookie ball out there. But I've been out to Salem, Oregon. But anyway, yeah. So you
the Volcanoes, right?
It was when I was there, it was called. I think they were called the Salem Kaiser Giants because it was a Giants organization.
Okay, Volcano Stadium is what it is, or something. Yeah, Giants, Salem Kaiser. Yeah, that's their field. Yeah.
I years. I mean, we're talking 23 years ago now. Gosh, Lord. But I
come back with Coach Casey to continue coaching. He asked me to come back and be his undergraduate assistant coach. And at that time, that role was a little different. It wasn't like it turned into these days where guys are hanging on and able to coach a few extra years and get some great experience. This was one of those where I wanted to get graduated and move on. I knew I wanted to coach at a young age. And so I was asked to come back that year. And then the NCAA that next year, they got rid of the graduate assistant position entirely. So I didn't have that chance to go back and do that, but I knew I needed a master's degree. And I actually, 8 or 9 years later, I went back and got that. But right away, I got a job at Central Catholic High School in downtown Portland. I was really fortunate. I was probably the youngest head coach, around. I think I was 25, 24, actually, head baseball coach in a very prestigious school in downtown Portland. And I was in a way over my skis. I had 3 programs, freshman, sophomore, junior in high school. And then I had 3 more American Legion programs in the summer where you're dealing with, that deal. So I have JV teams I'm running. I'm doing a lot of stuff trying to manage this deal. And I realized right away, there's a lot more to coaching than, going out there and batting practice and, getting guys better. So a lot of fun, though, gained invaluable experience as a high school coach. Was there for 3 years. We had a couple nice runs and I got a job. I'm really fortunate to go out and work at Columbia Basin College for Scott Rogers out there, who just a tremendous coach, tremendous mentor, did a lot of great things out there with him. And, just wouldn't be here without that program and kind of what that place offered me and him specifically. He was fantastic. And I got to work there and Coach Farrington, who was a WSU head coach, he came in, we got to coach together and just gained a lot of experience working out there as a pitching coach and also as an associate scout with the Red Sox, which is a very minimal role, but it was a role that, I was out all the time and I was always working, and I had a full-time gig at the college. It was great. I was an assistant athletic director for most of the time. And they treated us really well, hard to leave. In that time, I had a child that was born with a really rare mutation called Noonan syndrome. It was early in utero situation where it had happened that kind of just affects his heart and cardiovascular, and then maybe his size, but neurologically, he's sharp as a tack. He challenges me every day. He's a little turkey, and he in every way. He's really smart. So we have a lot of fun. He's a great friend, great kid, great brother, and so we got set back a little bit as a family there. We were in Tri-Cities, Washington, up there in Pasco at Columbia Basin College for 9 years, but we wouldn't take that chunk out of our journey for anything. That was something that you're driving up to Spokane for doctor visits, and my child's getting heart surgeries. He had multiple heart surgeries, and just all kinds of things that you couldn't write the script really, right? Our baby's not supposed to make it a few times, and he just keeps battling and making it and pushing through and just inspiring a lot of kids, a lot of my players throughout the journey, a lot of coaches, and just impacting people. I mean, he's the biggest teacher we have in our lives, and it's awesome. It's just something you could never imagine when you go into fatherhood and things. So true blessing there, and there's no question. So he's still hanging with us. We went to Bakersfield for that Columbia Basin for that 9 years, and things didn't work out there towards the end. It actually did work out in a big way. We just had ran our course out there. It had been long enough. It was time to go do the next stop, and went down to Western Nevada College, and we had a great run there. 2 years of good success. I went to a junior college World Series and had a lot of kids got to run their dream there, getting drafted, going on and moving on. Or we have some pre-med guys. We had kids going on and doing great things in life there too. So, I look at those 2 stops in junior college, and they were just the biggest growing points of my life. I had a lot of chances to go take a job, but for one reason or another, my son being sick, it just wasn't there. I couldn't take him away from his doctors, and we had great relationships where we were. So, we're living right. And, a lot of people understand you can chase it all you want, but really just if you enjoy where you're at and just keep grinding and have fun, you grow, and you get to take it all in, and you go on hikes in that area, whatever you're doing, and find the good, get excited about that. People move on. Really, I believe in my heart that be good at where you are and what you're doing, and you get a chance. But if you're chasing and climbing and doing, it's pretty easy to detect and see that. And for me, I just want a grinder, tough guy that wants to get better and be super loyal to his program and to his institution. And so anyway, we just tried to take that model the best we could and learned a lot of lessons along the way. And I got a chance to go out to San Jose State and work for Mark O'Brien for a year. And he was the interim head coach at San Jose State at the time. And I was in a tough spot timing wise. It was getting late in the summer, September. So I committed to this. And I went over, and I was going to be his pitching coach, his recruiting coordinator. A lot of different things I was going to do to help him. And we had the rug pulled out in front of it, right out from underneath us there 2-3 weeks into school. We were told that the hiring process didn't work out with the head guy, and it just didn't really go well with the state. We had a new AD coming in transition at the time. So, here I am with, full family. I have a kid with, some needs and things. And I'm sitting in Los Gatos, California on the border of Campbell, and at $3,300 a month trying to make it, and just hanging on, and they call me up and say, hey, you're out of a job. So, I'll tell you, it took everything I could do for 2 or 3 days, even to pull off 10 jumping jacks in the living room. You're beat up. And I mean that literally, actually. I mean, it was a devastating time. I had just already been through the grinder a little bit. Kind of thought we had our shot with a great dude, great guy to work with, would have loved it. Recruiting in the Bay, would have been a nice gig. And then that gets pulled out again. And then I, kind of looking at myself in the mirror saying, maybe this journey needs to soften up a little bit, right? Maybe we need to start thinking about other avenues in life and taking care of my family. And I was really close. And my wife just told me, I think that third day, I was trying to muster up a workout. I'd say 10 jumping jacks and a walk. And she just got back, and she just came back and said, you can't do it. We got to stick our nose in here. We're going to pack up and let's get this thing going. And, we're going to answer the bell. And that's kind of what I needed to hear, because I felt like I was letting everybody down, like we weren't going to make it. Right. And so, you got to fight through it. And so we went home, and, good family will take care of you. We got up to the Northwest, and my family took care of as well. And yeah, we got a year later, I applied for some jobs and started working with John Jaha down at a club. I don't know if you remember John Jaha, but
big basher, big right hand hitter. Yeah,
oh, man, Johnny and I spent hours and hours working in his gym. I was at a summer league game up there in Portland, and I was at a tournament. I didn't even have a job, but I went and started covering these games because I didn't want to get behind. I was like, I'm going to get behind a couple of recruiting. I took recruiting very seriously. You have to. So I just didn't want to get behind. And, I remember kind of feeling like I was getting clowned a little bit. In fact, I had a guy in front of, I'm right behind home plate, and a bunch of my friends there. Mike Thurman with the Yankees, great friend, just a great guy. And, I sitting there with him, and guy looks at me, says, hey, Beardy, you can get my job. I'm not winning any games. And it's kind of the way he said it. I felt like, it was a little rough. And, for guys who like to compete a little bit, you don't like to hear stuff like that. So I did everything I could do to kind of swallow my deal, and I did a good job. My buddy kind of squeezes my leg, like, don't do it, don't say a word, just roll. I did. And I happened to walk down the line, and I saw the University of Portland head baseball coach, Chris Berry. And I saw him, and man, he just, we hit it off. And like a week later, he offered me his volunteer job, and I couldn't believe it. It was like random. I had no idea it was even open. Nothing about it. So I started working as a volunteer at University of Portland, and opened up a business with John Jaha at night. So I was working in the day at Portland, and then I was able to go down there for 5-6 nights a week. And I had guys like Rocky Gale, who's now at the back of the Dodgers, coming in and throwing batting practice with me. And we had all kinds of like pro guys coming in and out of there. But the coolest thing was this community that I got to coach in. All these little kids coming in with crazy passion, and the guys that went through that door. I mean, I look at them now and what they're doing and how they're doing it. And, it's amazing to see these kids at Stanford and just all over the place. So we had, we contributed a little something too. And John Jaha, best, he's an amazing guy. We had a tremendous relationship. Thing is with him is, he let me work, and I didn't have to pay the kind of money I would have if I would have started my own business and done all that. So I really fortunate about, doing that at night with him. And then that relationship I developed with Coach Sperry. I mean, he didn't have to, bring me on. I was a little older. Those volunteer jobs, usually go to the younger guy. And I think he somehow just felt compelled, and it was a really, really big time, small step that made a big difference, right? You never know where these things take you. And keep taking a step at a time. And I applied with Larry Lee at Cal Poly for his pitching job, Rich Hill for his job at San Diego. I remember interviewing with Tony Gwynn at San Diego State. I mean, I was throwing all these things out, trying to get jobs. And I got a lucky deal late here in Bakersfield, and ended up, it's a windy road, but we're here. And got really fortunate to be sitting where I am. We had a situation where I came in as the pitching coach, and for one reason or another, things happen, and I'm the interim, and we end up, I had a great group of kids that overachieved. We had 12 hitters in the line, on the field. It really, that's all I have to work with, 12, and I had 6 pitchers, and we had 25 guys. But I'll tell you, we had the dirty right guys. They were tough. We were picked to finish 7th in the WAC. We came out, and man, we with the WAC pitcher of the year. He was 0-8 the year before. All of a sudden, he's 9-1. Doing his thing, and then he, we lost our opener to Sac State, and we battled all the way back. Had to win 5 to play for the title. We came back, won every game we could. We faced them in the championship after, I think it was 5 straight games in 3 days or 2 days. Man, we almost got them, but they're up 2-0 on us. We couldn't see the ball. I think they shut us out and ended up beating us 5-0 for the WAC championship. But just really proud of that group. And so our athletic director took a hard look, and he was opening up a national search. And I really told that our family, hey, don't unpack. Let's just keep everything in boxes. And I was kind of really feeling like that was it. That was the one. I'm done. And that was going to be the final stop. But we got lucky, and not lucky. I think we got blessed.
No, that's right.
Very fortunate. And so here we are, and I'm trying to build a winner in Bakersfield. We're going into the Big West. Here, hey, you want a job? You got it. So this is the one that we can do a lot with. There's a lot of growth we need. We're a primitive program. I don't know if you noticed, we're only 10, 12 years into existence now. And, and we, this field was literally built on it was built in a bunch of weeds. It was just, they put this thing together. We had a local supporter, Tom Hart, that the field's named after. He came out and literally did a lot of building his own. Right now we're in the middle of trying to build up our classroom. We're getting things better. We're putting in a different, clubhouse right now as we speak. It's going in. Hitting facilities coming in. I need my structured pitching classroom where I have my weighted ball system, I have walls and pads and my equipment right there with a, we need cleans. I want muscle. We need to get big, strong, and throw and chuck and do our thing. And I need a classroom to do it. Right now, we're going full on Rocky Balboa. We're picking up. I mean, it's unbelievable what we've been trying to do. And I'm so proud of our guys because they never complain. They don't need it, but they're going to go play anybody, anywhere, and they're not afraid. So that's kind of what we're at right now. So we're excited and trying to keep this thing moving forward, and hopefully we can work toward a dog pile here.
Listen, man, gosh, so many nuggets in there, man. And there's no doubt why your boys, you just saying, man, they just out here grinding and getting it going, ready to play, dealing with these adversities and all of that, man, because just hearing your story, they're sitting there mimicking you, you know what I'm saying, without them even, just hearing your story. I know your kids cannot do nothing but I don't know, they know your story, but be inspired by you. And that's why they're out there grinding and doing what they're doing in this situation that they're in now. There's no doubt in my mind that in the next 2 to 5 years that you grow this program and man, just blessings to you, brother. I love that story, man. Guys, talking about perseverance, talk about disappointment, talk about holding on to faith and to the and just little steps like that. It's funny. That's why I said I love to hear stories behind the scenes on guys, how they get to where they are, because everybody has a story, man, and that's a great story, man. And so congrats to where you are now. I want to, congrats to, what you overcame to get to this point here. So I want to dig a little bit deeper about the school, though. All right. So you're saying it's 10 to 12 years in existence, or the baseball program, I should say, or is this in general?
The baseball program. So the school itself, I believe in 1962 was established, and we have had a baseball program for 11 years. And then prior to that, we didn't have any baseball, but we were D2 as a college. So we had softball, I believe. We had basketball, a lot of swimming, wrestling, great wrestling school too. Just a lot of history in the things that they did have here. I know that a lot of great athletes, track and field. So it's been a colorful university for what it offered at the D2 level, at the national level. So it became a Division I school. I think it was 12 years ago. This is the 12th year, I believe. And we have a long way to go to measure up. So we started out in the WAC, and our schedule's crazy though. We're going out to Chicago. We're going down to Texas, Rio Grande Valley. We're going to Utah twice, Seattle. We're back and playing Tuesday games on the road or at home after getting back at 2 a.m. Sunday, Monday morning. These kids have to turn around, go to class, try and get good grades in that deal. It's a difficult order to try and get these guys to manage that schedule and be really successful in those two areas, which is athletics and academics, but even their social life. Now we're talking about encroaching into an area that, it's tough to be happy. And, I'm really proud of our guys, though. We don't have many that want to leave. They come in and you got to kick them out. Even the guy that got drafted, we got a free agent just signed the other day. And, I felt like the best shot for him was to go now. And if he had said no, I would have said, yes, you need to go. Right. So at that point with him. So anyway, that's just kind of the way it is. We want to build that culture, right? People want to be around, quality light. They want to be around things that help us all get better and grow together. So, and that's kind of what we try to provide. And I try to provide as the skipper is, I'm going to establish the program, and man, I'll tell you what, this program's going to run itself. This is how we do it. You better do it. If I have to step in and do it, that's what we'll do. But I'm just happy with the way our guys, we empower them to be leaders and allow them to manage each other, discipline, accountability. And if it gets to me, now we're in a different level, right? So that kind of helps things, and that's what builds that culture, I think. So it really helps us move, at least.
Listen, so I love it, man. You're building a culture out there. You're building it up right. So Cal State, you said that they were in the WAC. and we had Rio Grande on. We had what other school did we had on from the WAC? You named them. You just named it. We had a couple of the schools, and
New
they
Mexico
just
State's in there, right? Yeah.
You said
Yeah,
what?
New Mexico State's in there. You had Sac State. Well, those, yeah.
You said one mother. You said one. You Rio Grande has been on the show, and we're missing one other. I know you said Utah, but you said one other one. I can't think off the top of my head right now who's been on the show. But gosh, that travel to that league got to be crazy. So, but are you? So now you're in the Big West, is what you're telling me? You're in a different conference now.
Yeah, we're in a bus league now. It's real nice. So we get up and we get on a bus and we go to the hotel and we leave Sunday after our game, which typically would start at 12 or 1. We'll be back by 7, horizontal by 9, getting good sleep, ready to go Monday morning for class.
Nice. So what's some of the schools that's in that conference? If you tell me, please, if you could tell me.
So we go Cal State Fullerton, Long Beach State, Cal Poly, Hawaii, UC Davis, San Diego just joined. It's a tough league. It's real. Santa Barbara. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
We had San Diego head coach come on. He's been a guest on the show. You named some big time programs over there, man. So man, some good competition, man, all in there. But the good thing is it's a better travel schedule at least, huh?
It's a better league. It's a better perceived league. Travel's a lot better. We just have to keep getting better, and that's the deal. Is we'll measure up, and we're going to do that with our players. You're only as good as those guys, but we better get the culture established and get the mentality with the new guys coming in that we're not going to change a thing. We're going to stay the course, play with a chip on our shoulder, and we'll see what happens when the dust clears.
All right. Speaking of players, man, so California's rich with talent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but you just named 5 or 6 big time programs, and you didn't even mention some of these Pac-12 schools and whatever. So it's a lot of competition, a lot of talent, but a lot of competition also. So when it comes to recruiting, are you just heavy in the it's Southern Cal or Cali? I don't know Bakersfield. I know it's more towards the east side of California, right? I know it's kind of deserty out there.
It's crazy. We're in a great spot. We're an hour and 30 minutes from the coast. We're an hour and 30 minutes from up, 5,000-6,000 feet up in the air. We have the sequoias right there. You go down into Magic Mountains. Depends on how you drive. About 58 minutes in our household. So that's good. And then you go down into LA, which is another 35-40 minutes beyond that, and get to a Dodger game. So it's really in a great location. We have a lot of Dodger fans. It's huge Dodger country here. So,
right.
Yeah, we also, I'd consider us kind of a Central Coast, but we kind of pass it off as we're recruiting to Southern California. So I get creative. I think our staff gets creative. Our recruiting coordinator, Ryan Cisterna, does a great job. We try to arm out and get area guys that, you're just not going to see. I'm going to go off to that back tournament in the desert, and he's going to head over to Arizona in that showcase. But we always have a guy in that little tournament on the side where we're going to get the one that nobody's looking at. And I'll tell you, we've had a lot of success over the years with that philosophy. You can outwork people. You really can. You can outwork them. And so and nowadays it's getting harder with this video stuff. I'm not as good at that, but getting out and going to games and meeting people, talking to parents, letting them know, hey, this is our gig. If you want to be a part of something special on the rise, this is what we want to do, and this is where we're going. And then we talk academics and kind of get into that route. But I have 2 kids from from Australia. I have 7 or 8 from Arizona. We have a kid from Utah, a couple of them, a couple Northwest kids. We had the Oregon State hitter and one of the top pitchers from state of Oregon 2 years ago. Kid from Washington. Yeah, so we have kids from everywhere. That's kind of one thing I'm going to pride ourselves on, is diversifying our roster. We have kids from East LA, and I'm excited about every guy that we have coming in, because we work hard on that culture piece. But in order to build a culture, you have to have different pieces lined up, right? That if you don't add something different, you're not adding. We don't need a bunch of the same guys running around because they don't respond. But I get a kid from this area, that area, hey, he offers this kid, you don't even talk to him funny, right? He's going to do something so we got to have that, right?
I love it.
That's the win, I believe. And so I think that's kind of the way you got to live it too. I want challenges, right? So as long as you have that and you have that forum, let's challenge it up. At Oregon State, I'm going to tell you a quick story. We had a thing that year. I was the walk-on guy. I had a couple guys saying some things that made me feel uncomfortable about wearing that odd uniform, and I couldn't do anything about it. So finally, when I got that orange and black uniform that day, about a month, 2 months later, sitting in the bullpen, Mason Smith, our Friday guy, was trying to start that day, and he had a elbow problem. And I hadn't even played yet. Coach Riley, yelling at me to come in from center field. 25 minutes before game time, I come trotting in. As I'm running in, this kid goes, "Oh, he finally got cut," or something. And I turned and I kind of looked up. I couldn't figure out who said it, but I just kept running in. I went in there and he said, "Hey, Mason can't go. We're playing Coach Casey's coaching the other team, the future Hall of Fame coach for the Beavers. The next year he got the job at Oregon State, but he's coaching the team I'm throwing against."
Oh, wow.
And he comes in and he asked me, he said, "Hey, you want Mason can't go. You want the ball?" And I looked at him, "You want me to start pitching?" And he looked at me and he kind of like, gave me his look and got a little, something. Man, I grabbed the ball. I started going to the bullpen. Instead, I had to dart to that bathroom, and I just made a mess. It was terrible. My guts, everything. It was like, what just happened? I couldn't believe it. And I checked myself, do all this stuff. I washing my mouth out, doing all this stuff, and I got to warm up. And I threw about 20 pitches. That was it. And I remember we had the anthem, and everything got kind of weird. And it seemed to happen so quickly because of the time had passed. And I went out there and I threw, and it just one inning after another. And I'm sitting. Got lucky that opening game. I put up some numbers, and he let me start. But for the rest of the year, I kept thinking that day after that, I was all happy. I had a little walking off the field. Guys were clapping, and I had a no hitter or something. 5 innings, like lucky. It was like one of those things where balls were getting hit, but and they got their hit because I was like, man, he's letting me pitch a long time today. It's the 5th inning. I didn't even realize what was going on. Finally, they hit the ball through, and I got this little, we're not allowed to do a little standing. I get off that dang field, and all I was thinking about was that guy that was punking me on the way in. And so after the game, we had this deal. We called it the O, and it was a big rug in our old locker room at the bottom of Gill, and it was a cement locker room. It was brutal, like old. It was okay. We didn't care. Hey, it was a locker room, right? But and so you didn't want to really hurt anybody. So I remember after that deal, guys are congratulating. I must have felt like I arrived or something because I got pretty bold. And I was like, "Hey, who said that anyway?" It was the first time I even talked in the locker room, right? I was, and finally no one would say anything. And I said, "All right, I think whoever said I'm standing on the rug, let's just go to the O." And it's the funniest thing ever. That thing stuck for like 10 years after. Guys were taking dudes to the O, doing all this stuff. And we did have some O moments that year, right?
Really?
Thrown around the locker, but it wasn't crazy.
You started a movement over there. You started like, hey, any problems you had, come step to the O.
You accidentally fall into something, right? And it got crazy. But if all it was that guy that one day and he just got chippy. Well, I believe in some of that. I believe in that. And you don't be a tough guy. You don't act like that. Humble, quiet. But when a guy on a ball club needs to be checked, you have to have the guts to check him. And then as the guy that's getting called out, man, understand that we're all here to get better and we're trying to do it together, but you got to get on board. And I think transferring that kind of behavior to your ball club the best you can, I think it just helps as using your own experience, I guess, right?
I love it, man. That's what's up, man. We step to the O. I like it. We had Coach Pat Bailey. Was Coach Bailey over there when you were there?
No, he's after me.
Okay, yeah. He's been on the show, assistant coach over there at Oregon State. He came on last year. Yeah, man. So you got some questions coming in, Coach. I'm one of my Facebook guys says, what's your preferred way of recruiting?
Well, I like to, use relationships, find out who these guys are that are in their areas. And that doesn't mean they're the end all because they have relationships too, right? Sometimes they don't want to mention a kid or whatever. So you have multiple guys in an area the best you can, right, to make sure you're getting to as many as you can. And then we try and identify where to be first. Like we can waste a lot of time recruiting. So we try to get to not only the showcase tournaments and things like the perfect game stuff and the big stuff. I mean, that we're seeing what everybody else sees when we do that. And if I'm at Bakersfield and I'm going up against SC or Arizona, I'm going to lose that battle, right? So if I'm looking at the same guys they're looking at all the time, I can see that guy just backspin a ball to right center the same way. I don't need to see the same thing. So we're sneaking off, but we also have to have some representation there. Just for, wear the hat, go out, let's do it. Make sure we're working, but we're going to really hold our stock in being really stealthy about the way we do things, right? We're not going to go out there and hey, we're at the American Legion, back tournament where there's 8 teams and small towns. You walk in there like you're a hero wearing our stuff, and they're so excited. Hey, there's a college coach here. Well, in that tournament, you might find 3 or 4 guys that just, imagine them in this other gig. How would they look there? That's the tricky part. That's the hard part. But we try to do the best job we can at evaluating in person to go see that stuff and get off on the side stuff, but also represent the bigger showcases so we can, use those relationships too.
Man, I love it. Yeah, they So you got to take the detour route. That's what I said with all this competition, man. You definitely got to take that detour route, huh?
Yeah, we're not afraid to get creative, and the more money we get in, the more scholarship dough that we get, the more creative we can get, and we're just kind of doing it with what we have right now.
Are you fully funded right now?
Not quite. We're getting there, though. We for sure weren't when I started. We were pretty low when I started, but our AD Ziggy Siegfried, he's just done an amazing job at trying to get everything going. Right now, it's a tough time, but getting our scholarships up was the #1 priority as we spoke. We're working on some other things. I mean, just coaches retention, things like that. We want to bring in quality guys and do some stuff. Facilities is also a major deal. But yeah, I think our administration's cut and dry, ready to do something about it. I'll go recruit kids from all over the country. I don't care, all over the world, really.
Well, you say you got Australia already representing over there. We got a Australian Connect over here too. We he usually is on the show. He ain't on today yet, but it'd be we need to hook you guys up and get some more guys coming over there. Sergio says, what about Georgia? You got any Georgia players over there?
No, not yet, but I have had a player from Georgia. I would love to get Georgia players. I've always been a fan. When we've competed, going to recruit, there's a lot of talent in Georgia. I've always thought Georgia should have, then Georgia Tech's been good. Georgia's been good, plenty good. But I've always felt that that's a huge hotbed around the country. You get guys lighten up the analytics and things, right? That a lot of those names keep coming up from Georgia. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he ain't getting out of Georgia. He's just saying something. He ain't coming out of nowhere. But Damien's on the West Coast. He out there in Vegas. Damien says, how many seniors do you have this year that will be graduating? Do you need a first baseman?
I love it. We're always looking. Absolutely, we need a first base. Depends on how he hits. And can he play a little D? I like to have a little D at first base. I don't believe in hiding a guy there. That's a real position, and you better be pretty good at it. Yeah, Vegas is a place we recruit, so I'm glad to hear that for sure. We have a lot of great connections over there. We open up at Vegas this year, so come to our opener. So we certainly, I think, what do we have? We had all of our seniors wanted to come back this year. We had 6 that should have graduated or been drafted or however that would have worked out for them in a typical year, but they all wanted to come back. So I said, come on back, boys. Let's go to work. Let's finish what we started. I didn't want to cut those guys. That's a big experience thing for me. And if we have to have a few extra guys on the roster this year, we're going to do it. We're going to serve those kids. And, that's not a decision a lot of people have made around the country. I'm proud of that with our guys and our culture. Again, that's who we are. We're going to take care of those guys. But yeah, we're going to be missing a lot this next year, sir, to answer that question.
All right. Parents, don't forget to sign up for this masterclass that I will be doing on the recruiting, talking about and getting to understand what these coaches are needing, like we got here, Coach Sherman. All right. We got fantastic. He said a comment. I love a coach that is okay with his players checking guys who are smart butts and not fully on board. I am totally okay with that. That's right. You need that guy like that on there. My boy Jay Lane says, CD, I always knew first basemen were real. Yeah, I know. Figures another first baseman called, real athletes. Whatever, Jay Lane. He's one of my former teammates, first baseman over there, and I used to always get on his ass about the lack of athleticism over there at the first base.
Hey man, a lot of guys are throwing you the baseball. You better be able to handle it. It's the only thing that can stop a runner, right? The baseball. Take care of it.
Duke Rake though, he could bang though. All right. So, I know these questions keep coming in. So, recruiting side. So Bakersfield. So, GPA. What are the qualifications? What does it take for to get into Bakersfield? And as far as in-state and out-of-state tuition.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky on that front. We're very inexpensive as it relates to in-state guys for sure. Our full tuition for the year is about $7,500 for the year for an in-state guy. Now, if we're a WUI state, so we do have a WUI here, which means like Hawaii, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Vegas, or Nevada, Arizona. We get a nice WUI package there where we can knock off that out-of-state tuition down to make it at least reasonable, and that gets us down from about 18,000 to about 10. So that's a pretty good size chunk. So we're pretty proud of that piece. So that's for the whole year. That's an inexpensive institution. We can do a lot with that. Now you have to live too, right? So you're looking at paying, let's say 16, 18,000 a year with nothing, with no scholarship. For a California guy to live right and live comfortably. Now, if you're out of state, you're looking at just, a couple, 3,000 more than that. So, it's very inexpensive as far as getting into the institution. Our requirements are right on board with all the other CSUs. They're going to be GPA wise, the requirements are going to be a little bit lower as far as getting guys in. Our requirement as a program, we like to see guys in that 3.0 range. Now, we understand we're not going to get some of those guys. And I don't mind recruiting some players that need some extra help. We need to work on this. We need to make it work because I believe in state systems. That's kind of what we're for. We're here to serve and help these guys get through. I slid through. Trust me, I'm sitting on a master's degree and I don't know how, I was the exception, but I got lucky and I had a great support system and snuck through. But I'll tell you, these guys, I was going somewhere with that until I got on that. Geez, that's just, where was I going with that? That was, you were just mentioning.
Tuition, staying off, and degrees.
It's 2.25 as far as the state goes, but we like to see you at that 3.0 range if we can. SAT scores, fairly minimal. And our requirements just aren't going to be, what a lot of schools may be around the country. Okay,
cool. So it sounds like, tell me a little bit about Bakersfield. I see you quickly changed it up because I hear my stories. I know a few guys. Let me see. Larry Parker used to be a wide receiver for the Chiefs and played at SC. I know he's a Bakersfield guy, and I know there's a couple of pro baseball player guys that I know personally. I can't think of the top of my head. That's from the Bakersfield area. One, I think Nick Leach or somebody named Leach.
Kobe Lewis is from here. Let's see. We have Kobe Lewis. We have we have a lot of guys. Burns. We have Corbin Burns. He's from here. He's a pretty good player. Guys in the past though. I mean, old George Culver, who pitched no hitter in the big leagues back in. He's an old timer, great friend, great guy. There's a lot of history here in Bakersfield. The Bakersfield Dodgers, they had probably one of the worst minor league ballparks in the history of minor league baseball.
I heard. Yeah,
It's still there. It's Sam Lynn. It's an icon around here, though. People love it. You have to respect it. That's nice. But it's a goat yard. There's no reason for it to be here.
Is there still a minor league team in Bakersfield or no?
No, well, they cut it. So, so we're the only show in town now, and we're excited about that. It's all new. The COVID hit. We were on 3 years in a row breaking an attendance record, and this year we were really going to break it. It would have been nice, but we got cut short. Bakersfield itself, I think it's a really well kept secret. I think it's beautiful. You get into certain areas of Bakersfield, you come in from the I-5 West Side Inn. We're in the southwest corner, the very fringe of town, and all the new growth is going out toward I-5, and there are $1 million homes around. We nestle in between two country clubs. The housing's beautiful for the student athletes. The apartment living's nice. I mean, it's clean. It's real. It's not like you're trying to survive it. And I remember we had a 4-person quad. We had 3 guys in our own little quad, like squished in there trying to figure it out at one time in junior college. Just helping guys out. But we don't have to do that here.
Nice.
We have excellent living, clean town, good people, wholesome. I mean, it's 50, 60,000 people. We have 3 news stations that cover all of our games. We're on ESPN radio. They just do a great job of helping us out and really making it a primetime deal.
All right. We got a question coming in. Russ says, how do you convince kids to come to your school and play immediately rather than going to the Pac-12 schools?
Well, rarely are we going to win that battle, but we do win that battle sometimes. I mean, our center fielder right now, he's a potential first rounder. He's legit. He was offered a lot of money out of high school. He was offered to go just about anywhere he wanted. We have, I feel our shortstop called in the 3rd round, offered a lot of money. He said, no, I'm going to go to school and play up there with Coach Beard and that crew. So, and he was offered Pac-12 schools, Texas schools, big time guys. So we're getting these players. I mean, we've 7 guys have signed in 3 years, and that's a good thing, but it's also not such a good thing because you get them here and then they're bouncing pretty quick and it's hard to build them into your system. Right. So I want to see some fruition of the effort here. I want to see where are we at when these guys are all on the field at the same time. So we try to really, sir, to answer your question, we try to sell our culture, our attitude, how we play the game, our ability to prepare anybody for not just baseball, but life stuff, life skills, no matter where you're from, mentor programs. It's about development and person development. We're not a party school. So if guys are looking for that, we just say, go to the Pac-12. That's beautiful. Go, because I went to the Pac-12 and I know what that's about. So there are a lot of distractions, but we sell the fact that this is a real system, real program. It's a baseball school. It's a pitching school. We're gonna get it done on the mound moving forward now that we have a little chuck on the bump. So we didn't have that before, but now we're coming. So we're excited about all that stuff. But we can talk guys into that just out of sheer development. And it's not, we could take our gig anywhere. If we want to do it in the Pac-12, we could do it there. We don't care. Our programs, we set it up. And it doesn't matter where we're at. We're not going to change it. We're going to keep, let's get it a little better. Let's always make it better. But I don't have to reinvent this thing. No matter, I'm 40 plus years. I'm getting older here. I know our system, I know our coaches, and I know what we want. But players are get attracted to that when you believe in it and you talk about it and you recruit to it and then you also coach to it. That's real stuff. You can't hide it. So that's what I try to be.
I love it, man. So you create that program, that system that you like, yo, we could take this anywhere we go. You know what I'm saying? I love it.
For sure. No doubt.
All right. D-Rob says, Coach, do you recruit junior college players? And do you use two-way players in your system?
Man, those are 2 great questions because absolutely, we probably lead the country in the for sure playing two-way guys. My left fielder just got picked up by the Reds as a pitcher. He didn't get to pitch an inning this year. So he's going to throw 100 someday. He's throwing 96 with a hammer right now. And so they offered him the max they can. He left, which was perfect. But it's good. But our pitcher of the year.
You saying you got an outfielder coming in that has never. You said he signed professionally as a pitcher, but he's never pitched for you.
Yeah, he was our left fielder a year ago. It took me a year to convince him to want to pitch. So now we got him pitching this year, and the COVID hit, and he didn't get to do it. So he went out in the summer league throwing 96 with a breaking ball, and he's all over Twitter doing it. And who's going to show up? Somebody. Their kid's pretty good. What a steal! $20,000 in school. Let's do it. If that's what he got, I don't even know. I'm just throwing that out there, but it was around the max they could get. But hey, it was his track. What he needed to do at that time, and I just wish him the best because he's getting older and he's antsy. He wants to play, so that's good. But yeah, that question, JC players, yes, absolutely. The junior college ranks. Being a JC guy myself, I'm all in. I mean, we have some serious chuck coming in, and guys that are on the staff right now, the pitching staff that are junior college guys that just need a little more refinement to be ready. And we kind of want to pride ourselves on bringing those guys in and helping develop them.
I mean, I know from the junior college level out there in California, man, I'm a big advocate of junior college. I talk about it all the time. Just from talking with all levels of coaches, not just the junior college coaches, but you guys. It seems like most players that come on my show and coaches who are former players or now like yourself, started at junior colleges and stuff like that. I just see the benefit of junior college. And I know a handful of California junior college players that made it to the big leagues. And I know that level of ball out there, junior college level in California is big time out there.
It's real. And then the two-way guys to boot, man. Like I said, we have probably 3 or 4 a year, and they love it. I mean, they know we're not. I recruit to it. That way, the next guy, when he hears about it, he wants to come. So a lot of schools call a guy up and say, we just want to pitch you. And no, I'm not going to go there. We're not good enough yet. We're going to use everything we have. So that's how we have to play it. So
I love it, man. All right, Jeff Sullivan says thoughts on J.C. Robertson. Love that kid in high school.
Okay, so Jason Roberson is he's gonna be all right. He's he's a unbelievable human being to start with. Just a great kid, great pleasure to coach. But he's a kid that for us to even get him, it was one of those that he committed early, recruited him early, and he stuck to his guns and didn't pull the I'm going to decommit and take the bigger fish. He could have gone anywhere in the country. This is a first round talent right here. He's real. Like, there's no question. There are things that he can do that he just needs to refine it, right? He a tremendous football player in high school. I mean, I remember when I first got here, he looked like Randall Cunningham out there on a high school field. And he was a freshman running around this field. I'm going, who in the heck is this guy? And the guy standing next to me was one of our assistant coaches at the time. He said, he's a freshman. So anyway, he didn't play football. He got into the baseball thing from that point on, which was a good decision because I think he has a really bright future. I think he's going to play the game for a long time. He's taken a lot of development action right now. He's getting stronger. He's gained 18 pounds since COVID hit.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a physical guy. The ball sounds a little different off his bat, and all he needs is time to grow. I need to get him on a field. He's supposed to go to Cape Cod this summer. And that got shut down, and then the COVID hit, and he didn't get to play last year other than summer ball because he had the red shirt.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, just kind of a breakdown a little bit, but he knows he's on track. He's fine. I'm excited about him, though.
Wow. I laugh at, like if I hear you talking, right, so outside looking in, when I hear you talking in the beginning, 10, 12-year only year program, we're trying to put the culture in, and man, we're hanging in there, and we just moved to the conference and all of that. But then you're saying you had 7 guys drafted in the last few years. You got a stud dude that just throwing 96, who didn't even pitch, just throwing 96, playing left field. Then you got this dude over here that's potential high round guy. And it's just funny with you California, you like the Cal, the Long, I know Long Beach State and stuff like that. UC Irvine, the last 10 plus years. It's become very good, but when me and you were coming up, Irvine was like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, Fullerton was always good, but like, it's just funny, these little California state schools, it's just got 3 or 4 studs, what I'm saying, that just can straight play, and it's like, hey, we're hanging in there, we all right, and you got guys in left field, they ain't pitching throwing 96, you know what I'm saying? It's like crazy.
Wow, hey, I appreciate you saying that. You're getting me fired up talking about it, because when you stop and think about it, there has been some nice things that have gone on here, right? We're just not content, satisfied in any way. We have a long way to go for that dog pile, and that's really the only thing that's why we're here. There's nothing less. I mean, it's great, but we're not happy to be here. We want to win.
I know that's right. So Russ says, are you patterning your program after Oregon State? If so, do you all do so special? Or you do so special that wins? If so, what do you do that's so special that makes you win, I guess is what he's saying.
Well, we for sure you're going to fall back on your training and your roots, right? And it's not just, what I learned at Oregon State early on was a style of play from just the Valley, the way we did it. We had some tremendous baseball people up there. You have your Jack Rileys, your Jack Dunns, your Bobo Braytons, Pat Casey. It's just Chris Sperry, Kenny Knutson, Mark Mactoff, Scott Rogers, Kelly Smith. I mean, these guys are all just amazing baseball guys the one absolute, the denominator that you can take from this culture that we established even up there in a region is, the right guys get jobs because they're getting hired by people that get it. And so when that happens, you kind of have a way of doing things. It's kind of consistent. And so you can grow a culture that way. Well, absolutely, we're going to stick to what we know. And I think coming down into California, I see a lot of teams that are pretty similar to what's going on up there. The difference is you have 45 million people to choose from to fill these teams up, right? So yeah, when I say pattern it, I mean, we're our own identity, right? We're Roadrunner baseball. There's no question. But if you want to talk style of play, we're going to pitch and play defense first. I want to shrink that field, right? I want to get pressure on that other team to make some plays, right? I don't know. Sit back and expect my guys to start banging the ball out of the yard because I don't have SEC physicality, right? We're not doing that. And I've been burned with that, and it makes you mad sitting there in that dugout saying, all right, I'm tired of letting these guys just sit here and try and schwack. It's not working today. Let's get something moving. And see. So we don't want to – we're going to give up a couple, 3 or 4 outs a game. And we can have the guy in the stands saying, oh, man, what are we doing here? And the kid misses something. I'm the guy that's wrong. But you know what? That pressure throughout a game – instead of just pointing out the one base run and get thrown out, it's fine. You know what? We're going to do it again. And then we're going to drop, it's going to go to left, and we're going to take another 90. So you got to look at the good with the bad when you do this stuff. But our philosophy is we're going to pitch, play defense, and pressure that other defense, right? With our offense.
Listen, hey, that strategy has won a lot of championships for a lot of major league teams, man. If you could pitch and play defense, you can win every game. You know what I'm saying? You're always in the game. I should say that. So,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So it sounds like I know you say you're a pitching guy pitcher coming up, and so your foundation is pitching, huh?
Well, I played shortstop and center field all the way up until I got to Oregon State, and the only way I could get on that team is if I could wiggle on as a pitcher. But yeah, I couldn't get in the in that lineup. There's no way. I'm not playing center field for them. We had an All-American there, so I just wasn't going to shortstop. Well, that's debatable. But no, we had a couple of guys, and they were just phenomenal. We had the best defense around. I mean, we had the guys up the middle; they could do it all. And I could never keep up with that part of it. And I think every player has to come to that realization that hey, once it's time, it's time. Let's make that move. So you talk about two-way guys. That's a hard discussion. That's a hard one. But open it up and let it be, right? I'm going to chuck now, and you can help your teammate.
Right. All right. D-Rob says, will you have any prospect camps this fall?
I have them scheduled, but this COVID thing's killing us. So we're looking right now at a potential like January. I don't even know, December, November. I'm hoping as soon as we can have those, we're on. There's no question. We're going to have as many as we can. We'll have teams from Vegas coming over. We'll be doing a lot. So, yeah.
All right. Damon says, do you watch all videos that are sent to you from kids trying to get recruited, or do you need someone to vouch for them?
Yeah, it's nice to have some credibility established first. I mean, I can't even tell you how many videos I get a day and even text. I don't know how guys get your number, and it's kind of annoying, to be honest. You're sitting here and 9:30 at night, you're getting these videos sent to you. If you don't know how to navigate that phone and turn it off at the right time, you start to wonder. I'm not calling this kid now. This kid at 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, come on, man. So yeah, having a little bit of credibility, some sort of a name behind you, or hey, remember me, or this guy reminds me of something, and I can take a look. But it's a lot on our staff, but we do try and do a nice job of seeing all the videos that come in. It's just really hard to not let a few slip through the cracks, for sure.
All right. Yeah. So they so somebody I hate to say this, but I know you just pretty much said it. So is there a way of getting to your staff per se, not just you personally, but your staff, with videos or anything like that? How can somebody is wanting to, learn more about, Cal State, Bakersfield, and, I know you said the camps, we don't, everybody's up in the air with the camps. That's around the country in every school. But, if they're interested in Cal State and, Bakersfield, and they want you to see how would they get in touch? What's the best way to get in touch and send video or Twitters or anything like that?
Yeah, I think jumping on that I think the Twitter's very good. When I think that's a growing way for me during this time. I like getting tagged on that, so I can take a look right there when I'm on my phone. And I do get those. Those are the ones I find myself it's so easy. I'm bam, bam. I hate to see it. Oh, that's a nice looking swing right there. Look at this guy, right? And then we put him in a different spot. And then we have, the video. This is straight up email, and if it's personalized a little bit, it helps. I mean, a lot. I mean, I don't like the little thing that says bulk next to it, right? I don't need the bulk. If I have a guy that's specifically interested, I'm going to take the time to try and respond to that. But they get a lot of those that they're sending them out to the other 297 Division I baseball programs around the country.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that, Coach. What is your Twitter? I could post it over there and tell them to tag it. What is your Twitter?
Let's see. It's man, let me figure it out. I think it's see, that's how good I am at this stuff. I'm working on it.
You ain't the only one. That's why I said if you know it, because I promise you 90% of the coaches that come on be like, let me think about it. I don't remember, they're good with the emails, but the Twitter is the one that kills them,
I got it right here. Okay, so it's at Coach Beard 27. So CO8, capital CO, Coach Beard, capital B. I don't know if that matters. So it's at Coach Beard 27, capital C and B.
All right. That's so 27, huh? That's is that your number over there or what?
That's that day Coach Riley put his uniform in there. He gave me his own uniform. I didn't mention that it was his own uni, so I didn't know how long this was going to last. So then he gave me 27 when I finally earned the real jersey. So that was the one I stuck with. Figured that was the one that got me there. Heck with it.
All right. That's my number 2. That's why I said that's
Yeah, brother. Yeah. Baseball number now. Let's not kid ourselves. It's 27 outs, 9 innings. Yeah. Right, 3 out the ball game. 27 is a big number in baseball. You get that last out, a lot of times you're the winner.
Yeah. Number boy Jay Lane was like, see number 27. That's right. That was that was a number. I think in the background over there, my mother, that was an old school picture over there. I'm at my parents right now, and she's holding up a 27 jersey right now. So yeah, that was very But anyway, Coach, so all right. So the camps, we got enrollment, we got GPA, we know that, we know conference, we know we know philosophy. What I love about it, that's cool, that's big time. Pitching and defense, what I'm saying, which it should be everybody's, but some people love boppers and and all of that. But I hearing you talk, I can hear that you like them guys that could throw the pill a little bit and guys that could play a little defense, man. So that's big. Showcases right now, we don't know. Listen, so camp show. I want to make sure I hit all these points with Bakersfield. Facilities wise, tell me a little about cages, indoor, outdoor cages. The ball field. I know you say you tucked away in between some nice some nice properties and subdivisions and stuff like that. But tell me a little about the field.
Well, the field actually. So yeah, we sit in a nice little area like where the campus sits, but the town itself sits in a really nice end of the valley. It's in the South Valley, just before you head over the Grapevine. The campus itself is beautiful. It's the field, and it's we've done a lot with it in 9 years, 10 years since it was actually established. We just put in a brand new batter's eye. I mean, it's big, it's beautiful. The seating itself seats right around 1,000. We're tearing out the old clubhouse as we speak, putting in the new one. So we can seat another 400, 500, 600. I'd say we could put about 1,800 in there a night. And I think we'll grow to that. The facility around it right now, we're right in the middle of working with some landscaping companies to come in and just make it an environment. I always think of a baseball game. It's not the game, it's an event, right? You get kids running around, get them a radar gun to throw up. Let's see how hard they can throw today. Let them hit that bucket over. Let's see what you can do. Let's put in that thing. Whatever we got, man. Let's get some corn dogs flowing, do whatever. Make it an event. Baseball does that. Right now we need it. and we're going to need it next spring. I just believe that, that atmosphere, that culture that we're working at establishing here, it's going to be contagious with our recruits and the people that hopefully we can keep the best local players here. So I want the kids that were there playing the games on the side eventually to play the game on the field, the best players. So we need to make that an atmosphere. We're going to a Cal State University Bakersfield baseball game. Was a big event as a child, and man, we had baseballs and shirts and hats, and well, boy, we were really doing it. So that's all easy stuff. We can get all this done.
I love it, man. Man, I love your enthusiasm, Coach, man. Listen to me right at that hour, man. Learned a lot about Cal State, Bakersfield, man, and the Roadrunners. You said, right? Is that?
Right, Roadrunners.
That's a cool name. That's a cool name. I love the hat. I love the colors. That was actually the color my little travel team I had, organization. So we have black sometimes, but we wore the blue and gold too. So that's I like that color scheme there, man. So what I love to do, man, I have all my coaches and guests that come on, man, and take us out on the word. You could be about anything, man. You can be giving us great nuggets and learning about Cal State, Bakersfield. I love your beginning of the story, man. Your journey here. I want to make sure I got a quick question to come in. Shout out to my boy Dal Roberts. Good to see you on, brother. All right. Will baseball be moved to March or April in 2021? He asked.
See, that's a tough one. We don't know. It's still fluid. We're working on that. As of right now, we're scheduled to go to Las Vegas February 16th of next year. I am hearing some potential movement on that, but I think we'll just kind of wait and see kind of how that transitions into the spring.
All right. We got another one. That is our college right, Chipper. You know that. But all right, so let me just get back before I got, the question came in. I wanted to kind of, make sure, get back to doing, whatever, I want to make sure that I respect your time, man. So if you could, I always have my guests take us out with a great message. If you could, man, as we head out of this,
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That's really nice of you to think about that, because that's important stuff. And the biggest thing that I think that we need to really focus on, and even baseball wise, society wise, however you want to look at it, but kindness is cool. You can be that guy, man, that just cool to people, kind to people. We all get born into this world, however we get born here. Whoever knows? I had no idea how I was going to come into this thing, as you didn't either. So I don't understand why we can't just understand the fact that we all got here. And why can't we just cool each other, help each other grow? Understand it's a quick journey here anyway. We're not here long. I'm a believer, so I'm all in on people development, society development. That starts with just being kind and finding the love and grace in others, and quit pointing the finger. Every time we point a finger at somebody else, and we have those three that are right back on us, and I think we work on our internal abilities and strengths and kindness and things that can impact and serve others, man, you're going to enable yourself to do great things anyway. So whatever, service is where it's at. Kindness is where it's at. Baseball, I have the most beautiful job I could ever imagine. Corey, it wasn't the easiest to get here, and I know a lot of people had harder journeys, but I'm extremely grateful and thankful for the opportunity that I have in the position in the chair I've been put in to impact others in however way I want to, and I take that job very seriously and methodically as it relates to the messages that we try to convey to not only our players but people out there, which is, man, let's be cool to people, let's be kind, and realize that there's a lot of love in the world, and there's a lot more greatness than what we see on these screens sometimes, and a lot more coolness that the people aren't wanting to recognize for some reason. So we got to figure out ways to embrace that and really move forward and help know baseball guys that this is the best platform we have to teach life, because it's a really hard game and life can be really hard. So we parallel so many things, life and baseball, in our program. And I think that's why we have the culture we do and why our guys love it and they always want to come back.
Good deal, man. You're right, man. Great message, man. A lot of stuff going on, man. But, you know, baseball's always one of them good unifiers, man. You know, it don't matter. You know, that's what I said. Like I love talking, and we could talk ball, talk about, man. I want the same thing you want. You know what I mean? You just want your kids that you got in your program to do well. You know what I'm saying? You want your family, you want to provide for your family, you want your kids to grow up in a great environment. That's it, man. No matter what color you are, we all want the same thing, man. So it's man, it's you know, good dude, man. You got a lot of great comments coming in. Jay Lane says seems like a good dude and a player's coach. You know, my boy Jansen says great dude. Mike says thanks for showing love to California. D. Brown, Coach Beard seems like a cool guy to play for. Mike from Oakland, you see what I'm saying? We every now and then we gotta take it to the West Coast, man. You know, we have to take it to the West. We don't get too many guests on here from the West Coast, man. So I'm glad Coach Beard came with that swag, came with that. It ain't nothing like that Cali, that West Coast swag. Came with the tilted rim, and somebody else mentioned that about you too.
I don't know what I got going here. I found a hat, trying to figure it out. This is our other one. You know, we got them all here. So,
nice. I love it, man. Came twisted it up, tilted to the side with the swag and everything, man. I love it.
We're just playing ball every day. We don't know. We just, you know.
I got you, man. I love it, man. So that shows through. I'm just telling you, little stuff like that shows through the camera, man. So listen, parents, I appreciate you, you know, listening in today. Tomorrow we'll be on. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, we have Coach Mike McCormick from Florida Atlantic University, going back down to the South, like we stay down here. But yeah, we got John McCormick, all right, from Florida Atlantic coming on tomorrow. Another D1 school. So parents, 4 p.m. You're going to learn more about that. We 6-week master class. We talk about this recruiting stuff, man. All that knowledge, all this stuff that you're getting from these coaches and stuff, and just bundling it up in a package over there, man. So sign up for that master class. You know, I get this information to you, man. Darryl, appreciate you, man. I hope my boy Aaron is doing good and safe. So parents, 4 p.m. Coach Beard, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for me. We'll be in contact in the future. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Big time. Thank you, sir. I mean, I love it. I love what you're doing. And just to be a part, I'm really honored. So thank you.
All right, good deal. So tomorrow, parents, 4 p.m. All right, John McCormick from Florida Atlantic University. All right, Cal State Bakersfield. Shout him out. All right, John Beard over there in Twitter. I got to put his Twitter on there and his email. I will put it in the chats. All right, he likes Twitter. All right, he likes Twitter. Don't be over there blowing up his cell phone and his email. All right, Twitter. Tag him over there if you got a ball player that can play.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
All right, take care, Coach.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.